morning. Is it still morning? Yes, it's still morning. How are you doing? Happy Friday. Happy holidays, as we are, a few days away from the holidays. I guess we can call this a glow and grow. I know I have not been doing the glow and grows like I started off doing as far as like every morning, Monday to Friday. However, I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be showing up, coming to you with a message. So the message for today is really pertaining to, do narcissists know what they're doing? This is a question I've been having lately, and I actually had a conversation with someone the other day about it, and I wanted to share it with you. And initially when she asked me that question and I gave her the answer, which is yes, they do. There's no confusion. They're not lost and naive about how they're behaving or how they affect other people. We started to go into a conversation about her father, and she shared that, as she's learning more from me about narcissism, that she sees it in her father. And she's a woman in her 40s, married with her own family. But as she was hearing, some of the information from me, she started to reflect on how she experienced her father growing up and how the father has treated the mother as she grew up, and even how the father treats her now. And one of the things that came out of that conversation that I find so necessary to share with you is she shared how she became a born-again Christian. She was not raised in any religion, and she became a Christian a few years ago. And she felt moved to talk to her father about, his behavior and how he treats the children, and they're all adults, of course, like I said, and how he treats their mother. And she said there was a time where there was a tragedy in the family, and she saw the father, break down, and he started to seem like he was receiving what she was sharing about, God and Christ, and just trying to get to learn more about how we're supposed to live. And he started reading the Bible, etc., etc. However, she thought she saw a change in him. However, when she would speak to the mother, the mother would share with her that he's basically the same person. And she realized there wasn't really a change. He was just acting different around her, around the daughter. So my message for you today is, we are approaching the holidays, and naturally, and at any time as human beings, we want companionship, we want unity, and during the holidays especially, we want relationships to work out, and sometimes other people want the relationships to work out, so they're going to reach out, etc., etc. But I want you to keep in mind that these people function differently, right? This is not a time for you to let your guard down and open yourself up to their games of manipulation, because that is what this father was doing, right? He was pretending that he was understanding the word, and that his message, her prayers were getting through to him, and he was changing, and really he was putting on a show for her. And that is exactly what they do. I know I have many followers here who also believe in God like I do, and yes, God can do all things. That's part of the conversation we had. It's not that God can't change them. God can do all things, but we also have free will, and they use their free will to choose to be who they are, right? For whatever reason, whatever they've been through. Two people can go through the same exact trauma, right? And both people can respond to it differently, right? One can go through an abusive childhood and say, well, I'm going to be abusive as well when I get older, and repeat the same patterns. And some people will choose to say, I don't want to repeat the same patterns. I want to be different. There's a mosquito flying around here. So whatever the reason is, people choose to be who they are. But what I don't want to see for you is that you get caught up in the holiday season and feel like this is your time to start saving people. There's people who want to be saved, and there's people who are completely comfortable in being the destructive, cold, person that they are, right? And when we're talking about toxic and narcissistic people here on this channel, I want you to understand that, you know, if you want to use your spirituality for them, fine, but say a prayer and stay going. Sorry, that was my alarm. I hope you can still hear me. They're always, thank you so much, Eric. They're always going to they're always going to pretend like they're being moved, right? And the bottom line is they want access to you, right? They want access to you, and they love to see that they're tricking and fooling people, right? So do not let the holidays, you know, make you feel like I have to fix them, I have to heal them. Not everyone wants to be healed and wants to change. Maybe you want to grow and be a better person. That's definitely my kind of personality as well. I want to change. I want to evolve. I never want to be the same person a year from now or even 3 months from now. There's something that I need to be able to learn through my experiences, through anything, right? Where I am constantly making progress and evolving as a human being. But not everyone wants that. Some people love to be stuck in who they are, and they love hurting people, right? And these are those types of people. So for those of you who, you know, find yourself, maybe I need to talk to them, you know, maybe I need to pray with them, maybe when you're talking about these types of people, toxic and narcissistic people, pray for them from a distance, because all you're doing is getting yourself caught back up in their games, and they're gonna love it, and it's gonna be a waste of time and energy for you, and you're also spiritually opening yourself up to that, and you don't want that. Samuel, hi, let me just read your question. As an expert in this area, do you feel human beings have gotten worse in forming relationships, or are we just being more open talking about it? That's a really good question. I'm gonna say both. As far to answer the first part of your question, you talked about forming relationships. I think we've gotten worse at it because we have moved so far away from the way it's supposed to be, right? We are meant to form a union, right? Man and woman, we're meant to form a union. And there's certain things we need to follow, right? Which is explained in the Bible. And I think we've gotten so far away from that. You know, we live in a culture where we are promoting, you know, just being all about self. We're in a culture where we're being promoted to idolize more superficial things than human connection. You know, we've moved so far away. So when people go for relationships, they're not going for relationships to form a union, to serve the way God wants us to serve, to build a family, to follow those values, right? People are getting into relationships because they have, you know, sexual needs, right? And they just want someone to fulfill those sexual needs, or they want to look pretty on social media and look like a power couple on social media because they have on matching outfits, right? We become very superficial. On the other hand, you asked about, are people just more open talking about it? I think that also plays a role. We're not going to sit here and say that, you know, 50 years ago, relationships were perfect. You know, there were also things that were going wrong there as well, right? And that time, people were taught to just keep it quiet, keep it hush, right? You know, if you were in an unhealthy relationship, an abusive, whether it be psychologically, physically, emotionally, people were taught to just keep that quiet, right? If your spouse is suppressing you or, you know, mistreating you, you were taught to keep that quiet. So yes, we are in an era now where people are talking more about it, so we're hearing more about it. But I think it's both. I definitely think it's both. It is a pleasure talking to you all here. I wish I could stay here more. I have to run out. But like I said, for those of you who are used to my Glow and Grow morning message, my schedule has gotten crazy busy. So I am going to continue to come in here. Sometimes it'll be here in the car as I'm running around. Sometimes it'll be in the office. But I wish you all a blessed holiday season. And I'll be coming in, you know, before the year changes. But I just want to make sure that you stay grounded in what you want for yourself for the new year. Don't get caught up in the holidays where you're going to open yourself back up to people who have broken you, right? As we talk about toxic and narcissistic relationships here, loneliness is a real thing, and I get it, but please choose to be alone rather than to open yourself up to people who have shown you that they are unhealthy for you. Okay, please keep that in mind. For the new year also, I am expanding my presentation on in the world in general. While I am here to support those that want to heal and rebuild, whether you're still in a toxic and narcissistic relationship or you're already out of one, for those of you who want to heal and rebuild from that, I am also expanding it to more wellness. So not just relationship wellness, but also physical wellness. So stay tuned for that. If you want to invest in your healing, I do have a course that is extremely beneficial. It will definitely transform the way you are experiencing relationships today, the way you're getting through your healing journey, as well as the future, right? Because we still have our life ahead of us. We want to be able to trust ourselves, to be able to trust others again, and all of that takes healing. So if you want to invest in that and get connected that way, go to the relationshipdetox.co, therelationshipdetox.co, to find out more about that. Christy, you said, I totally lost hope to be with someone. I've been there. I've been there. And that is why, heal is such a broad word. And I'm going to have to go soon so I'm not late. And I'll get back to this. But heal. And Christy, in the group, Stronger in 30, I did post, I think, this week's masterclass about trust. I highly encourage you to take that. Go to the feature tab in the group. All of the masterclasses are posted in there. We have 3 so far, but the last one is about trust. And that definitely, I think, will, and the workbook along with it is in there as well. I talk more about that too. You see, healing is not just about feeling better. That is why we can't depend on time to fix things, because no, time does not heal all wounds. Healing is a part of healing is being able to trust yourself again, right, for making the mistakes that we made, and also being able to trust other human beings. But we can't get there. We can't move on and rebuild ourselves if we don't heal from the experience, right? And healing is also, it's about your mindset, right? About shifting the way we perceive things. But I've been there, Christy. That's why I created that masterclass inside of that course. Loma, you said we have too many options with social media, and America is car-centered society. It's hard to meet good women when there's always a paywall dating, fees associated with getting to know a woman for who she actually is. Okay. I think the dating world can be difficult. I'm a spiritual woman. I believe in anything that we want to pursue, we need to put God in it, right? We need to pray on it. We need to ask him, this is what I want, God. Is this right for me? And if it is, please guide me. And the only way we can hear his guidance is when we stay connected to him, when we pray to him, when we sit in silence and meditation, and just sit in silence and just let him talk to you. And a lot of times you're going to think it's your own thoughts, but it's him, right? And doing that consistently, that's one. Secondly, when you talk about dating, I think, who is it? Samuel asked a question about, today's society. And I do think, dating is a part of courtship, right? Back in the day, they call it courting. If you look in the animal kingdom, every male species goes through a certain way of getting the woman, right, to procreate with. Right? So it's the same thing for us mammals, right? There's a way of getting to know someone. Now, dating is a part of getting to know someone. Where I have an issue with it and where I see it a problem is, again, what we spoke about with Samuel, where it becomes more superficial. Did he take me to the most expensive restaurant, right? Did he spend money on me, right? That's where it becomes a problem. But dating is normal, right? You're taking someone out to get to know them, and that may involve paying for a meal, paying for different things, right? So you want to make sure that it's coming from a place of, I'm genuinely trying to get to know you. You see that woman also has certain morals and values, and she is not just using you for the free dates, right? But she's also interested and she's getting to know you. And in that sense, hopefully, as a man, you don't have a problem spending your money getting to know a woman, because you see that both of you are coming from a genuine place, right? And it's not based on superficial things, but it's a genuine, I want to get to know you. And yes, as a man, that is the role of a man, a provider, right? That you don't have a problem spending your money getting to know that woman. But again, it has to be genuine and not from a superficial standpoint. This conversation is great. I will be back on. Hit your notification bell so you can see when I'm on. Because of my schedule, there's no one exact time that I come on. So go to subscribe, hit subscribe. No, I don't need this right now. Hit subscribe, and then the drop down will come down and you'll see, I think it says all notifications. Hit that so then you can see when I'm on. You're welcome, Loma. You're welcome. You're welcome. Y'all have a blessed day. I'll talk to you soon.